How do you find it?
It was super fun, man. I like it, and the cool thing was just when you get around a bunch of people that are fast at something or good at something, it raises your level so much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done as well as I did here without you guys setting the bar so high.
Okay, back at the airport, this time for Istria Efoil race in Croatia. One thing I thought I'd never be doing in my life is traveling the world racing electric hydrofoils, but here I am. We are kicking off the Efoil Racing League worldwide this year, starting in Dubai. On my YouTube channel. Hopefully gonna go back and win it again this year off Justin, but it all starts here for me this season in Croatia, so let's get racing. We've made it! Woo! Let's go to the beach. Yeah, boy. Okay, just arrived to the Croatian race course. Yes! We're gonna test it. Of course, let's see what I built. Ivan is going to give me a course preview right now. We'll go from the start. I'm going to follow Ivan and we're going to do a track lap and a course preview. Right, let's go. One lap track preview for the Istria racetrack. Pretty sick actually. I think a few tweaks and it's going to be money. Get here, make sure you're here this week. It's the first day of the event, we're just getting everything set up. Tested the course yesterday. It's a pretty epic course. It's kind of an evolution of the course from Dubai. It's actually a little simpler with a few less tight turns. We just want it to be an open course that's good for everybody. Everybody's just signing up here behind me, signing up for the event.
Yeah, starting early, getting people on the beach. Slowly we'll go in the water and start practicing today.
The infrastructure is building up on the beach. It's time to see how long it's going to take for a lap. Efoil racing, bro.
Me, baby.
20 nations today here, from the UK, from the USA, from France, Germany, and all over to be here with us. Then we have Martin Earl and Tom Court that will also take part in the panel.
Looking like a perfect day for it. I mean, it's not sunny yet, but perfectly flat water. corners aren't too technical, enough to keep speed through, and technical enough just to put everyone's riding level through their paces. But top speed's going to be a key factor in this race because it's a big course with some big straights coming in some tight turns. Times are getting faster and faster. Time to set the leaderboard for the rest of the event. Flipping the coin for which side of the course you start on, starting left or right. Makes actually quite a big difference because we're starting the race laying down stationary, so it tests everybody's skill level from the moment you get up, start the board, to your whole riding skill level from left and right turns all the way around this technical course. Ladies are up first, and we're going to run through all the girls before we get into the men's final this afternoon. It's going to be exciting.
Shake your shoulder and rock your back. Here comes another musical cream of the grass. Scared time. Everybody rock your body line, you know. Shake your body line. Come on, sheep, what your mama give you.
Yeah, this is fun. Anytime you can compete and do something that you enjoy doing, yeah, it's great.
We're just about to start the quarterfinals here.
It's scared time. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Scared time. Rock your body line. Ah, yeah. Get happy, everybody, get happy. Down until Christmas Eve. It's get time. Rock your body line. Move to the beat in time.
Day 3 here in Istria, Croatia, and yesterday the event went off on the water. The sun came out in the afternoon and we got the finals complete for both men and women for the Efoil Racing League, first ever Efoil race here in Croatia. It's all about pushing pushing your level in whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
How does it translate to training and you know what you do in snowboarding and other sports?
Well, one thing that I'm starting to learn is, like, if I look right at the buoy, I might hit the buoy, right? You got to find a way to look past it, just like in any other racing.
Yeah.
So I still need some practice with this, but it was definitely something that started to get better. But again, man, just progression happens when you compete.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime, just like in snowboarding, anytime I got better, it was because there was a competition and all my new tricks happened the day of a competition.
That was it.
Yeah.
So, right, there we have it.
So if you want to get good at efoiling, you better come out and race, because that's where it happens and that's where you learn how to do it.
Exactly. There you go. And for me, what a pleasure to be on the podium with this legend.
Yeah, we had a good time.
There we go.
Representing Fliteboard, baby.
Subscribe, comment below.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Sure, you had some sleepless nights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I mirror exactly what he says. You know, without risk in almost any area of your life, there's the reward isn't as satisfying. Whether that's, you know, personally or professionally, I think you've got to be ready to take risks. And for me, in my life, I've always gravitated towards risk and fear, because I think it's really, you know, it's good to live close and, you know, as one with fear as you can, because if you're afraid of failure, it can hold you back in many ways. And I think, you know, sport's a great vehicle for pushing yourself, you know, personally, mentally, and you know, getting yourself out of your comfort zone. And with that comes, you know, personal development and progression. So for me, it's always been about that. Starting in kite surfing, I gravitated towards the adrenaline side of the sport, and that's what I really enjoyed. And now, yeah, moving through all the different sports that I do, I try and hold that close to me, you know, and enjoy the learning journey in all these sports. And through learning, you know, and progression, you have to take risk in order to push yourself further. So yeah, I don't know if you've got that picture that I gave you, but this is one example of pushing yourself, pushing, you know, the sport that you can do to the top level. Along with a good friend of mine, Glyn Ovens, we were the first two people to ride Nazare on an efoil back in 2002. Yeah, that's an example of many sleepless nights, to be honest, thinking about this and pushing yourself mentally to get yourself into that position. And that was born of nothing more than self-motivation to kind of scare yourself.
To do something that wasn't done before.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my journey.
And like he said, I was at 4 Olympics, and the first Olympics, the biggest thing I got from it, the first Olympics after I went there, I was one of the favorites to win a medal, and I didn't even make it through the first round, and I was gone. And that happened in 2010 and in 2014 again. I went as one of the top hopefuls for a medal and didn't make it through the first round again. And it was like, all right, see you next time. And it's just, the internet went crazy. If you guys ever want to know the worst about yourself, go to the internet, it'll tell you. So after those failures, everyone told me how I wasn't qualified, I had no business representing my country at the Olympics. But what they didn't know is without those failures, without those 2 failures, I never get those 2 Olympics later. It doesn't happen. So it's important, and like you said, that fear of failure, you cannot be afraid of failure. It's part of the process. If you want success, get failing. Start failing, and then work through it and learn from it, and then you will find that success, because it's so important.
Yeah, and the end of the Olympics, it's every 4 years, and it's one race. So it takes a long time. Martin, when you come to the gate at the start, what's going through your head before just start, you know, mental preparation?
I think the mental preparation starts a bit earlier. We usually have a testing day on a World Cup, then we have a training day, qualification day, and then the final day, so it takes 4 days. So I try to take it pretty easy for the testing day, watching the other people's. Mostly they change something, then you go to the training. You should be ready on training. We just have 3 rounds to get the course.
Yeah, no.
You should do a pretty good first run, mostly alone, and then you start doing heat, so you should be confident after the first run. In the
have some routine, special routine?
Yeah, I go through, in my mind, through the course.
Careful, because if you give me your secrets, I'm gonna attack them.
I mean, I still want to get a gold medal, so.
Well, it's difficult to say, to be fair. I've put myself in a lot of dangerous situations. But yeah, I mean, kite surfing for me is where my journey started in sport and pushing myself beyond my limits.
Yeah.
And it's bringing it back to this event, it's interesting to race with these two because they've got a very a specific mindset for racing, and I think that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday.
A mental challenge with yourself and strategy and consistency. And with my kite surfing career, I did it to push myself out of my comfort zone. And at the time when I got into kite surfing, it was a very new sport, and there was a sort of very a great attitude of progression and sort of innovation within it. And that's what drew me to it. And every time you went out kite surfing, it was dangerous because the equipment was sort of unsafe at the beginning, and there was a pioneering mindset of sort of self-learning, and that's what I loved and drew me to it initially. And then ever since then in my career, I've gravitated towards what's the next thing, where's the next innovation going, both inside kite surfing and now inside other sports. And I think for me, I call myself a free rider because I push myself into the next sport, into the next learning journey, and I was lucky enough to get as good as I could get at kite surfing quite early in my life and compete in the world on the World Freestyle Tour. And then since then, I've been looking for new ways to push myself and advance and develop. And I guess probably the most dangerous situation I've put myself in has probably been off the water rather than on the water over the years. It's great to be still pushing and still putting myself in danger, really. That's what I love doing.